Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here. Today I have a solo playthrough for Adulthood. This one's for 1 to 4 players in which you are playing a person trying to live their best life. You're going to have experiences, embark on a career, find a partner, or maybe multiple if that's the way the game goes. Ultimately, you are trying to figure out if you are going to live a socially impactful life, a personally happy life, or some combination thereof. Whoever lives the fullest life, which we measure by getting the most victory points, will be the winner of Adulthood. Mechanically, this one has some worker placement elements. You're going to be spending your time in your personal area. You'll be drafting cards and improving your personal area. So you start off not being able to do very much, but as the game goes on, you'll ramp up a little bit, have impactful turns by the end. But ultimately, within that accessible weight, kind of a family weight plus, the kind of game that you'll find in a Target or a Walmart. You are here for some clever card play as well as the emergent narrative that comes out of a life well lived. I'm going to go through a full solo playthrough of this one and then give you my thoughts briefly at the end, after these channel announcements. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, a multi-platform gaming empire, and your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. Before we get into the actual playthrough, let me go ahead and get an overview in here. Here is the central scoring board for solo. On the other side, there's the multiplayer board. The only difference is the number of spaces indicated for the market. In solo, I get 3. In the multiplayer, it is up to 5. These are the center of the game. They come out of the Adulthood deck. You see, it's the biggest deck. There's a whole bunch of cards. I'm going to be drafting these cards from round to round, playing them into my area, and eventually moving to score the game's 2 main victory points tracks. Advancement on the impact track, which is blue, and the happiness track, which is yellow. As I score, these are both my markers. I'm going to be moving them forward. When I get to the point where these 2 scoring markers meet, that is what will trigger the end game. In the multiplayer, you play out that round. In the solo, I have 8 rounds. In order to get these 2 tokens to meet, I can favor one or the other. So if I wanted to play a happiness heavy game, it could be over here, be all the way over here, or an impact heavy game, it could be there, or I could meet right in the middle. That'd be sweet. But that is how that all works. Here is your personal area. These represent 8 different spaces that you can place your time in. Most of the spaces use the worker placement spots known as time. Sometimes you could use your money or your energy to do different things. For the most part, when you are placing, you are going to try to advance yourself on the different tracks. So if I were to place 2 time over here, then I'd be able to advance on the blue track, here on the yellow track. As the game goes on, you'll draft cards that give you opportunities for advancement. So if I drafted this card, I would replace it and get an improved thing. Same thing with the leisure spot. So that is how you can mold yourself and build that engine to do what you want to do. In addition, there are special cards called experiences, which are more one-shot. They will give you progress that you want and also unlock symbols. The game runs on symbols in various ways in terms of the scoring. So as you play cards, you're going to build up your symbols and match what you got going. Here is a part where the multiplayer scoring and the solo game are going to differ. In the multiplayer game, you're going to have access to these values cards, kind of what you are about as a person. Are you altruistic, or do you go a certain way with your life, etc.? As you draft these, you can lean your game one way or the other, maximize the symbols that you get so that you can maximize your score on the values cards. And you can also change these from round to round. So if you don't like what you get, you can access this deck for more. In the solo game, life comes at you fast. You only have 8 rounds, and I'll show the timer of how that works out when I get into the playthrough. But over the 8 rounds, you are instead going to try to go for this solo achievement. There are a number of achievements, a whole bunch. For this particular game, I am going to try to gather as many of these symbols on the cards as possible. If I get to 7, then I will have achieved a high score. Along with making the impact token and happiness token cross on the central board, got to do both. So that's the high level of what you are trying to do. Let's get into the first round of the game. After the first round, you'll see how everything works, and you'll be able to jump into adulthood and get going. All right, we are into round number 1. And as I said in that overview, I am going for the kindness achievement, and I'm looking for these life symbols, the talking bubble and the holding hands. So beginning of the game, I'm going to get dealt 2 career cards. The career cards are not played at the beginning. So at the beginning of the game, I'm going to have this very terrible job 4 time for 1 money, which is really bad. As you can see, these are straight up improvements. I need to spend a resource in order to play them. So every card is going to have some kind of cost, and the cost is going to be in this bar, kind of in the middle of the card. The careers are unique in the sense that they have an evolved step called a promotion. So I have to gather a specific resource in order to be able to unlock the promotion and get a better thing. But we'll worry about that as we get into the playthrough. So as I look at my cards now, I have the professor and the corporate. So the professor would give me a more meaningful path. The corporate is just a bunch of money. And also, you see, I'm going to be unhappy, which is negative points. But you get a whole bunch of money, so there is a bit of a trade-off. I'm a little bit of a tree hugger over here, if people know me. So let's go ahead and keep the professor. You discard the other career at the beginning of the game. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to play the professor into my career. In terms of other options, I also have the option to place 1 time over here to draw a new career that I can play later in case my game requires me to have a better career. We'll see about that. Or gain this briefcase token if I'm grown up. Being grown up happens a little bit later in the game as I progress on the tracks. When I get that, I can place a token here, get the snazzy briefcase token, and that is what opens up the promotion in addition to whatever symbol that is on the card. More worker placement stuff. These 2 spaces, the community and the leisure, are pretty simple. Place 2 time, make progress on the individual tracks. Progress, especially early, is really important because, as you can see, you have these symbols over here. Once one of my tokens reaches this arrow up, then I get the arrow up token. I am now grown up, and I'll be able to play more of the game's cards. Let's go into explaining the spots a little bit more. We have this spot, donate, if you're playing a high money game, like with that corporate. You could spend your money to give yourself a little bit more progress on the social track, which does not require a time. So 1 area for that. And we have the date, which is to draw a new partner. And then this is the last kind of life token that you get. I can also acquire this if I really want to get hitched. And there are different benefits to getting married in the game. We have this last column here, which is wellness. Energy is kind of a catch-all resource. Not as directly impactful in terms of scoring. However, it lets you fire off various utility effects. And if you run out of time, so you have your 8 time over here, you can use an energy marker as a time, so you get a little bit more worker placement that way. So you can get some energy here. And also, I can use 1 energy to flush the market out a little bit. I'm going to be hunting for different symbols, especially to get the solo achievement. So this is nice to have to flush the market. It's a little bit different than the multiplayer. In the multiplayer, you'll be flushing out or through your values cards. But in the solo, it's access to the market. So in terms of an opening move for my first turn, normally I'd spend a lot of my tokens on the career space, get a little bit of money, but I have an incentive not to, which I'll show in a second. So I am going to place my tokens on the other spaces and advance those tracks. And then I will the interview, and then I will spend my 1 money that I start with on a date, leaving me with 1 energy. So I could use this somewhere, but right now I don't really have a use for it. Actually, you know what? Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to meditate. So let's go ahead and use everything. So that is the game's first phase, to assign your time markers and spending resources. So the second phase is going to be acquiring resources, and I could do that in any order. And order is important because there are certain things that you want to do first before you do other stuff later. So while I'm here, let me go ahead and spend these 2 time and get myself 1 energy. There's going to be reasons why you want to keep these tokens on there for marking purposes. But for the most part, once you do the thing, you go ahead and turn them over to show that you have done. Drafting and playing cards are going to come in the game's third phase. For the second phase, I didn't love what came out on the market, so I used my meditate, spend that energy, and I'm going to discard this and get another adulthood card. Ooh, generous. So this is a trait. Traits persist from turn to turn, so you have experiences which will go away and traits that persist. It has this hand symbol. So that is lucky for me because that is a symbol that I need in order to fulfill this. So I would be 1/4 of the way there if I would have drafted. So that happened during my second phase. Let's finish that off. So I had a community, which is going to move me 1 there. I had a leisure, which is going to move me 1 there. I got a career card and a partner card. So let's take a look at what these are. So in terms of a career, I could be either a professor or a doctor. So this is why you want to draw, because I got another hand. So as much as the professor looked pretty good, I think doctor might be the one for me. Although, in order to play the doctor, I would need a energy and a money. I do not have the money now. I spent it on my partner. Boo! So this professor is not going to do me any good. I can keep it. My hand is whatever I want. But eventually, I'm probably going to want to play the doctor. See what I got for a partner. A celebrity. Woohoo! More money. Ugh. We might want to go a different direction. And in order to get married to them, I would need 1 experience card or other card that had a diamond symbol on it. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work out, lady. So that is the second phase. We are now on to the third phase, which is to play and draft cards. You can do that in any order. I am going to, while I'm here, play one of my cards, which is the career card. I'm actually going to play the professor first. I don't need to spend money to be a professor, and they give me a more efficient way to get money. Professor, I know that academia is struggling a little bit. You have to last a while in real life to be a professor that pays anything, but in the game, sure, why not? So to do that and then eventually switch over to the doctor, so there's a little bit of flexibility there. So that is a card play. It cost me 1 energy, and I happen to have 1 energy left over. Now, I could have done this in any order. I could have done the market first and then the play. So I can play cards out of the market in the same turn. But in this case, it doesn't matter. My first card that I draft out of the market is free. Any subsequent card, I have to pay a money and an energy. Third card, 2 money and 2 energy. That is not happening in the first turn. All right, so I saw this card, which is why I did not put any time tokens on my job. Gain happiness and energy and draft an extra card from the market board. To play this card, no cost, but I had to have spent no time on career this turn. I did not spend any time on career this turn, did other things. So I got my sabbatical going, and I get to draft another card. So there's no use for it. There's no symbol, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and discard that. Some cards have symbols, some cards don't. In addition, this stays in my hand, and when I get the money, I'm going to play that and get progress towards my next symbol. So that's the end of the third phase. The fourth phase is just clean everything off and get yourself set for the next turn. As a reminder, I have 3 cards in my hand now. We'll see when I'm able to play them. Notice they all cost money. The fifth and final phase is the life events. So as you can see, there are these specially marked squares on the track. You ignore those in solo. In the multiplayer, as you pass them, you'll pull life events. And at the end of the round, if you've passed multiple, then you'll pull multiple life events. There are all sorts of things, good, bad, and all sorts of other stuff. But we ignore that in solo. In solo, after everything is done, as the last phase, we just play 1 of these life events. There are 8 in this stack. Once I've played all 8, then that will be the end of the game. Let's take a look. I am unhappy twice, but I get 3 money, so I might not need that professor job for too long. Okay. So here is my money. Here is my unhappiness. Unhappiness gets counted at the end of the game, which is good because you want to keep progressing on those tracks. You don't want to get knocked back and off of your path towards adulthood, but they will be negative points, and there's other game effects that will interact with the tokens in different ways. Those will emerge as I go. That is a diamond, so the diamond is going to be played in my symbols, and that actually unlocks a celebrity. She's like, ooh, you're a lot more rich than you look. I'm very much more interested in you. So I'm pretty shallow, or maybe I could play as a shallow person. So maybe I'll take a look at that celebrity when I have the time. All right, so that is one complete round of adulthood. On to the next round. Start of the second round, every card that is laying out there, you wipe out and then you deal out 3 more. So we have Insomniac, permanently get another token. You probably wondered why that other time token was in a supply. Well, there it is. It would get me 4 unhappiness. That does not seem like really good. Like I said, there's other game elements that do different things with the unhappy tokens. I don't have them, so that is less enticing. Lazy, got some sunglasses. If I have time unspent, I can play it. And it would give me energy every time I don't have unspent time. So basically, it's it's unspent, therefore you're using it to get some energy. That's not too bad. And popular, which is the right symbol. I already have 1 symbol in Park with more to come. And playing further ones would not cost energy or money, which is just a no-brainer. So that's definitely going to be the card that I draft. We'll see what I do with these 2. So we have an outlay that takes advantage of having a lot of money. So let us steer our game towards that. As much as I want to be an altruist, I guess it's just not going to happen. And we'll do, I need energy. You see how useful energy is. So that's my 7. I don't really have an immediate use for this last one. The only place open right now is here, but I don't want a new career. And I am not an adult yet, so I can't get the briefcase. So that's just going to be, something that I'm going to leave behind. And in addition, I have this 3 money from my inheritance. So let's go ahead and give that right back out in social impact. So the game doesn't say that it's positive social impact. I mean, it does. You're walking this old lady across the street, but the money path leading to, donations and stuff. It's kind of like an Andrew Carnegie type thing where you oppress your workers and you build your fortune and then you give people libraries. So there you go. I'm building a bunch of libraries to improve things while I sit on my wealth. Happiness does not increase. Personal impact or social impact is going to increase by 2. So that is that. And I will also get 1 energy for my personal supply. That over here is used. And I'm also going to get myself 2 money to make up for the fact that I just spent 3 money over here. That money is going to get spent. Hello, nurse. So I have Z Celebrity over here. And every turn I spend a little bit of time with her. She is going to show me the nice places to be where I get some kickbacks. I like that idea. And while I'm here, I'm going to do the no-brainer thing. I'm going to draft popular, no cost at all. So playing the talk bubble cards is not going to cost these things. So that is next to my traits. So you're going to have a little bit of space over here in order to build up those symbols. Andrew Carnegie was pretty powerful in their day. So that is nice and thematic. And I don't have any money, so I can't play these 2 cards. So that is the end of my phase. Time for some cleanup. That is the life event Disaster Relief, which is really timely as I record this. Hurricane Helene is ravaging the Carolinas. So as a person, I'm happy to do this. As my Andrew Carnegie self, maybe not so much. So on my next turn, I must take this action. Spend 4 time. Ooh. But I get some of the social stuff going, and I'm working on social. So I will achieve adulthood next turn. So that does play into my little outlay over here. So let's go ahead and wrap this into round 3. Here is the new market for round 3. Tax evasion. I need so much money. I'm going to get a lack of impact, but by then I'll be dead. I will not care. I need to be an adult, though, in order to play it. So I'm setting things up where I can become the adult this turn, take it, play it, move on. Shoplifting is also enticing. I will think about it. I have less incentive to do it because the symbol is an off match. In the multiplayer, you get a point depending on pairs of symbols. So in the multiplayer, this might be an attractive combo to take. Take those 2 pairs and go extra points. In the solo, all that matters is the solo achievement card. So that disaster relief is mandatory. I am stuck. The cameras are on me. They will not let me get away with not helping out. So looks like I am stuck there. I'll make the most of it. Also, I want to go here. More community stuff to fulfill my nefarious schemes because getting the 3 will make me an adult. Now, here's an interesting thing. So in order to play here, I would be an adult. So in the order of operations, once I did these 3 things, I'd be an adult and I'd be able to get a promotion in my career. However, I don't fulfill the condition here. So you can only play here for the promotion if you fulfill the condition, which right now I don't, and I'm not going to do the promotion on a professor. Similar thing with a date. Actually, I would be able to get hitched, but I'm broke. You place first and then get resources, so I can't like place, get resources, then replace. So I'm going to have to hold off a little bit on this ring until next turn. Instead, I'm going to get some energy because I need it. Why do I need the energy? Because my honey runs me around to all the latest parties and soirees, working the crowd so that I can get as much money as possible. And who am I giving it to, girl? You'll know who you're giving it to. Happiness be damned. Social impact ahoy. So that is 3 movement, and I do get my adult token now, so I can play the better cards. I've gathered my resources, so let's go ahead and just take it. I am an adult, so I get to tuck this under my tableau. I get 3 more money and a thumb down. Not a problem on that thumb down. I can absorb it. And so that is what I have to spend. Let's go ahead and spend 1 of that money on this generous. I may now spend money as time on community. So that frees up my time to do other things. If I can keep the money coming in, oh, you know it, baby. You are my money engine. Wait a minute. Are you my sugar mama or am I your sugar daddy? We are each other's sugar everything. Doesn't that sound good? One last card left in my hand. I'm not going to draft another card. I decided against it. The symbols don't work for me. So I'm not in a rush. The professor is working well for me. This just needs to be in my tableau by the end of the game, which it will. And when I'm ready to pivot to a more scoring strategy, I'll do that. But for now, I think I'm good. All right, time for a life event. Layoffs. I get some money and energy, but I lose my career. A career I was planning on losing anyway. Oh boy, academia is just not the place to be with all the budget cuts and it's just a struggling tuition at the state school that I'm at. That is a shame. So no longer a professor. But I do get more money. That is amazing. So that I'm sitting on a whole pile of cash and more energy. So the life events kind of giveth and taketh away. Ride the lightning in order to play this game well. On to round 4. All right, so round 4, more enticing options, including the open relationship. You can have any number of partners. Ordinarily, you can't, but with this trait, you can. Don't even think about it. You're mine. Oh, come on, baby doll. I got to consider all my options over here. All right, so I was fired, so I need to consider my options for money. This is definitely happening. My lady is going to keep me in the dough. And also, that's definitely happening too, because I ended up with a good pile of money. So, need to buy some influence. And in addition, I have here, generous, I may spend money as time. So, got to do the most efficient things possible. Not going to get a lot of money in next turn. I don't think that's a huge deal. We'll see. So, let's see. We got over here as well. We are going to get married, baby. So this means, or get married if I'm grown up. I am grown up and I have the gem because of the bad thing, the inheritance that happened. So I'm spending all my money to get myself going. All right, so that gives me a lot of time. So that's definitely happening. That's definitely happening. This is, yeah, I'm going to see what else I can get into the row. And I have 2 left. So the funny thing is, especially with donating, I'm going to leave myself cash poor. So no happiness. I'm going to have to go ahead and scrabble together some cash, look beneath the couch cushions, and I'll get myself 1 money for my trouble. I'm going to continue my march up the impact track. I do need to get some happiness in here somewhere, but I still am setting things up. And you know what? Since I am getting married, I can be married and have another open relationship, but I think I'm going to declare my loyalty. So that is the meditate. I get to discard and pull another adulthood card, a support group. Okay, that is the right answer right there. And that is another community card. So I was thinking about this, but this is really enticing too. What this says is it's the same effect, but when I experience a life event, which I do every turn, I could spend 2 energy to ignore it. So that's a little nice combo right there. If I get family planning, I would get energy, and I could draw another card. So that's definitely happening. This is definitely happening. All right, I think we are in business. So it is a good thing that I got money from that part-time job because I only have one money and one time. So to get in the first one is free. That's definitely happening. That's going in my hand. And then I have to spend these 2 resources in order to get family planning. So I'm not going to flip the tokens anymore. I don't have to, but that's a good way to track in your games what you have fired off. So I did fire for everything except for right here. This is the date. I've got down on my hands and knees, and will you marry me? I promise that open relationship was just a joke. You tell the funniest jokes. Come to me. Mwah, 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 mwah. And we are going to live happily ever after as a married couple, which opens up this amazing option, 2-time, 3 money. I'm going to use that pretty much every turn for the rest of the game. And I probably should have held back on this donate over here so that I would have ability to spend money. I didn't need to do that, but it is what it is. And I didn't need to do this either. That was a lot of wasted money, but a decent amount of social impact. We'll see. So I'm actually going to spend those 2 resources. Unfortunately, got to spend in order to get. I'm going to do the support group, which means that as I get energy, that'll get discarded and clean up. And I don't have any this turn. But next turn, I will be able to spend 2 energy to resist life events. I can't do that this turn, but hopefully I'll be able to do that going forward. Don't have anything else. I wiped myself out of resources, so I am done for the turn. That is turn 4. Let's go ahead and see what I get. Well, actually, before that, just to remind you, I do have the career, which I have not played yet. I may pay for that, and family planning. So I don't know when I'm going to get to that. Life event. I've been getting money out of these. Let's see if I get something else. Student loans. All right, lose money for each card in my life. The book card. I got rid of the book card because that was the professor. The professor got fired already, so I already went into default on these loans. So that is not a problem, and I can also meditate for free. And that's pretty much a multiplayer card in the solo. By the time you get this, it is too late because the card is going to get discarded anyway. So that's just going to get discarded without effect. But I do have a book that I can put in my tableau, and the book is what I need in order for the doctor to get promoted. So the life events definitely taketh away, but they also giveth. That's not too bad at all. Rounded the midpoint of the game. We are at round 5. We have family time. That's probably not happening. Social media is probably happening. It is one of the 2 symbols that I need. Paid energy to play it, and it goes on my leisure space. I have to play it in order to gain happiness. I do need happiness, so that's good. Beautiful. A trait. Dating does not cost money. When I date, draw 2 partners at once. Don't even think about it. We are not one of them celebrities that breaks up every 5 years. We are forever. I mean, if you're going to take me to the best parties, then I am totally all in. Also, I forgot about this. I am popular. So this is regarding last turn. Playing these cards, the talk bubble cards, does not cost resources for me. So that would mean the support group would have had this cost. I didn't pay it, so I actually have it. And that's very useful for making decisions about what I'm going to do this turn. So let's get more energy, and I'm going to hold 2 back because this will let me block any kind of really terrible event, and there can be terrible ones. So that is there. I'm going to get more social influence. I have 2 left. Not going to get money this turn. I don't think I have too much else to do. So let's go ahead and take a break before my residency next year. Doctoring it up, baby. So thanks to my improved relationship, I am going to get 3 money coming in as well as a energy. And progress on both of the tracks. I feel like I should be doing better on this track. I may not make it towards the end. We shall see. So now time to draft. That's definitely getting drafted, and I did not devote any energy to cycling these, so they are just going to disappear. It's not really too exciting a turn. We are going to set up towards the end game. Looks like I'm not going to be able to deflect against a life event because I have to spend 1. No, I don't! Remember your bonuses, Jason. I don't have to spend social media, so I can block incoming. I think that is it in terms of card. No, it is not. So I do need to spend these 2 in order to become a doctor. So that opens up this very, very lucrative space. I'm going to be promoted next turn. So the next turn, I will be able to do the promoted effect because I can do this first and then do the doctor effect. So that works out pretty good. And because I have the ability, here's family planning. I'm grown up and I have 2 money to spend. Good thing I didn't use donate this turn, and I won't use it next turn either. I get 2 energy, which is the life event blocker, and draw the top card of the Adulthood deck. So that goes right here. And this is the card I drew. That's Amazing Service Award. I am going to start really piling up on the Impact, which will let me play this card for free and get me one of these hand symbols, which I need. Taking stock of where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 symbols. I need 7. So I am on my way to this. However, will I get the trackers to meet in the middle before the last round? That is an open question. I'm looking at what I got going on. I don't see where it's coming from so far. I might have to rely on some events to carry me over the top. But that is it for this round. On to the next. All right, I will have cleared that out. Let's see what I get for a life event. Rough patch. Lose your partner or gain 2 unhappiness. Yeah, right. I'm not losing you, baby, for nothing. I don't care. I'll sleep on the couch. I'll sleep in the driveway. I'll sleep in a homeless shelter. Just take me back, baby. I am going to need a minute to think about what you have done. Wait until next round. Next round, new market. We have crafting, which is a leisure card. Probably not going to take a look at that. Live stream. I do have the star from guess who? And that will get me basically for free those benefits, which is just great. And relationship drama. Are you telling me you are so bored you're going to start drama from nothing? Nothing? I don't know about nothing. And I basically have my ideal outlay, so let's just go ahead and take care of business. We got, that's definitely happening, spending time with my lady. That's definitely happening with social media. So social media is a discounted way to get happiness. In addition, if I'm not on social media, then I lose happiness, which is the opposite. The more you're on social media, the less happy you are. But I guess if you just log on for every once in a while and keep those community relationships going, it'll work out for you. This has to happen, so we are going to spend a lot of time doctoring. I'm not promoted yet, but I will. In anticipation of the promotion, I am going to put my stuff here. I have the prerequisite from the student loans. That's just the promotion. So I'm going to be able to do that first, and then that, and then everything else. So that basically is going to be my turns for the rest of the game. I did forget this. But don't worry, I have plans. Remember, you can use your energy to do that, and I'm going to use the money because I can from Generous right here. I can use money as time on a community. That is a community card. So I've done everything that I want to do. Energy, fitness, who has time for that? So spending the 1 money out there gets me 5. Yep, I got promoted. So that promotion is going to go right here. So that's going to be over here. So I get 2 money from there, 3 money from there, and an influence. And so that's the 2 influence right there. So 5 money and a happiness. Now we're cooking with gas, baby. Will I make it before the end of the game? You know I'm going to be donating a heck of a lot to make up for my selfishness here. Okay, so now it is time to draft cards. This is for free. That has to happen. So I just use it. I'm going to go on and live stream. Yeah, I'm going to live stream with Milady. What are we going to do on our live stream, Milady? I know how to cook. So perhaps we could cook together. Will that get the clicks and the views? I have another. Okay, we'll cook. That gets me 1 money and another happiness. And I'm going to turn around, give that money and an energy to bank relationship drama. I'm not going to use it now. Just as I have 6, I need 7. This is just in case I don't get the last card for the top achievement. So I am really cooking with gas over here. I'm basically going to do the same things all the time unless, yeah, New Year's resolution. I get 1 energy from the New Year's resolution because it's like, okay, I got a little bit of motivation to last me until January 15th. On my next turn, I'm going to spend 3 tokens on wellness. I was just laughing at this. My honey notices that I'm gaining a few pounds from my terminal clicking. That's a shame. Round 7, you know what? I am going to do it. My support group allows me to spend 2 energy, which I had, and ignore this. So, I'm sorry, lady. I like the little paunch that I'm getting. I hope that you like a little bit of love to hold on to. You disgust me. Don't you have any self-respect? Looks like we might be getting into some don't even think about it. So that means I have no energy for the turn. So we are just going to do the best that we can within limited resources. So if I had no life events, I'd be doing great. But that's the whole point of the life events, isn't it? All right, so we got 4 over there. We got, of course, we have to keep on keeping on with Milady. And we have 2... just giving the support. I'm not even going to show up. I'll be their silent benefactor. That's fantastic. And I have 1 more. We are going to put it here. I will show you. Normally you can't. Or, I mean, I can, but to fire off this one. But I'm definitely going to fire off that. And I'll show you how it interacts with the 5th time pier. And you know what? I don't have anything better to do with this. So we're just going to continue to donate and pray to the gods that I get the right cards to help me out over here. Reason I went with the 5 over here is because I want to crush it. If I spend 5 on work, I can double the rewards gained from my career this turn. From the updated situation right here. I get to discard that, no symbol. I get 4 money, woohoo, and a social influence. So that's 2 social influences, 3 from the support group, 4 from the donate. So we go from 11 to 15, which is really, really great news. Because I can play this card, Service Awards, which gets me a happiness and a lightning bolt, which is so key because it's all happening at once because it's in the card play phase. All right, so to play this card, you must have earned at least 3 this turn, which is incredible, and that gets me my 7th symbol. So, relationship drama does not need to be played. I can put myself away and not sleep on the couch. And because of the rewards that I got, here is 1 money and $1 for some avocado toast, which is going to be $3, which basically cleans me out totally. So that's why it was important to do all that in sequence, which gets me happiness or 2 happiness and an energy. I might be able to do it next turn. Stay tuned. At this point, the only thing stopping me are life events. So let's see what happens. Guilt-ridden. Discard a shady card from your hand. If I do, gain 2 social influence. So that's just has to happen. So bye-bye tax evasion. Actually, I am doing some penance for my tax evasion. So that is gone right there. And that gets me 2 social influence. I am 2 away from meeting the thresholds. So that actually worked out for me pretty good. So that's the state of things. Normally that would look great, but I have to overcome this. Basically, this is at 16 and this is at 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that right now for clarity's sake. You're not really supposed to until the end of the game, but I don't see a reason to keep that marked. So this is accounting for that. I don't have anything to interact with the tokens. I'm just doing that for clarity's sake of making this easier for me. So I need to bridge this distance, and I will win the game next turn. So looking at what I got going on for this round, I'm basically going to have to hit a moonshot. I don't have enough on the board. So just going to do the best we can. So we're definitely going to do that. I don't have no money as I spent all of it last turn. That is unfortunate. And that's basically what we have. We're going to use this to cycle and try to get better cards. I'll show you the cards in a minute, but they aren't very advantageous to me. And I don't have enough to get the top number of money. Not that it was going to be too advantageous anyway, but that's basically what I got. So we have 3 money coming in, and we have a happiness and 2 impact. There's the impact. There's the happiness. I need to bridge that gap. This isn't going to do it for me. This would be nice, but I don't have that symbol. So it's nice to have symbol diversity in order to just, get what you need going. Online classes would be good, but draw a career card, not at this point. So let's go ahead and cycle that. Company gym. Yeah, it looks like I am unfortunately toast. Will the relationship drama help me? It would have helped me with the top card, but it doesn't help me bridge the gap over here. I'm so close. All right, would the last life event have bailed me out? No. So that is paid money or get unhappiness. That's not going to help me. So I lost this one. So that is an unfortunate thing. Did not make them cross. I did make them cross, but I had too many of these negative markers, which that was trade-offs. I couldn't overcome the trade-offs. So in terms of final thoughts, I do think this is a fun one. It is definitely one that you want to bring to a family game night if the gamers there are in that Catan level. They're used to that. I wouldn't go much below that in terms of complexity. There is some stuff over here in terms of the crunch, sequencing. That's the big thing. Placing your markers and then taking them off and getting the resources and then spending the resources on the cards and playing them, etc., etc. Those being different phases. That's where the game is. Sequencing properly. That's where I lost the game is I don't think I sequenced very well. And that is just fine for a game experience. It rewards multiple plays. You'll get better at it. I'm assuming that once you kind of really get into how the game works, you'll pound out the wins. I came close, even though this was my second or third time playing. So I'm sure that I'll have done better with more plays. In terms of the multiplayer versus solo, I got to say I prefer the multiplayer over the solo. For 2 reasons. Number one, in multiplayer, you have this values deck, and you get 3 of them, and they shape your game. You go for different symbols at different times, and you're able to change them out. So it's like, okay, this health one isn't working out for me. I'm going to take the action, change it over to wisdom. Oh, that will work better with my outlay that I have going on, et cetera, et cetera. So it lets you play with, your scoring versus the deck a little bit more. Where in the solo, it's quick. You have one symbol that you're looking for, and then the rest of the symbols, unless the card does something for you, you're kind of not looking at them. I prefer having that room to play a little bit more. In addition, the life event track, you saw how some of the cards are a little bit awkward in terms of you get a free meditate. That's useless in solo. So you see how the cards are geared towards multiplayer experience, and the solo came afterwards. In addition, in the multiplayer, the life events don't come at the end of the turn. They start after you grow up, so you have a little space where you can, just kind of build up. That's pretty nice. And once you cross one, you pull a life event, and then at the end of every turn, you pull depending on how many you've passed. So you could pull 1, 2, or 3. That's probably more fun. I've had a lot more fun with it, with the exception that there's actually not a lot of these. I think there's maybe 20 of these total, and especially in a 4-player game, you're going to see them multiple times, and that breaks immersion in terms of, I had that life event too. It's you want things to be kind of unique, so the game could probably use a few more cards. That is definitely feedback that has been given, and I'm sure the publisher is looking out for that. It is a game that relies on being into the theme. I love these slice of life themes. Pursuit of Happiness from Artipia Games is one of my absolute favorite games of all time. Pursuit of Happiness is a superior game. There's more emergent narrative, and I think that game is a little bit smoother. The benefit here is that it is lower cost, more accessible, so there's going to be those trade-offs. But in terms of if you are looking for something at the level of a Pursuit of Happiness, this one does not rise to that, just because I think there's some clunk here with the way things sequence, etc. But at the price point for what it is, if you like what you saw in the playthrough, then I can definitely recommend checking out Adulthood. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop. Reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.